What's up everyone, my name is Tony Hughes and welcome to another video. We've been talking about good news because that's what we want to hear. When you look at the world, we can recognize there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of frustration. People are not doing so well. Sometimes when we look at negativity, that negativity can transfer into us. If you're scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, you watch the media, there's a lot of clashing going on, and sometimes that can rewrite our minds and we can feel sad and we can feel depressed and sometimes we can feel hopeless. So my goal is to encourage you, to encourage me, to remind us that God exists and there's a man named Jesus that came into the world 2,000 years ago that did phenomenal works, and we want to talk about him. The source that we're using is the Bible. We're going through the Bible mainly because it's a historical, accurate document that can breathe wisdom and encourage us as we're just trying to build our lives. So we're going to be in the Gospel of Mark chapter 1 today, and we're going to be talking about two different things. The first thing we're going to be talking about is that Jesus again is serving people. He's helping people. He's breathing good into people. But then we're going to transition and talk about his mission. He came not just to help people, but he came to proclaim something significant that I think you need to hear, I need to hear, and I think the world needs to hear because it will transform our lives. So check this out. In Mark chapter 1, starting in verse 29, we kick off the historical event with Jesus and people. Check it out. It says this: as soon as they left the synagogue, they went with James and John to the home of Simon and Andrew. Simon's mother-in-law was in a bed with a fever, and they immediately told Jesus about her. So he went to her, took her by hand, and helped her up. The fever left her and she began to wait on them. That evening after sunset, the people brought to Jesus all the sick and demon-possessed. The whole town gathered at the door, and Jesus healed many who had various diseases. He also drove out many demons, but he would not let the demons speak because those demons knew who Jesus was. All right, this is awesome. Check this out. Jesus is leaving a synagogue. He spends a lot of his time teaching in the synagogues, but also teaching among the common folk. And as he is leaving the synagogue, there is a need. There's a need that is presented to Jesus. And Jesus, since he's a servant, he's a humble man, he said, let's go. So he goes to this home, and there's a woman that has a fever. And back then, 2,000 years ago, that was very dangerous because they didn't have the medical necessities, the medical field that we have today, the benefit of medicine and how we had advanced. It's not the same back then. So it was a very, very big deal with the circumstance and the fever that she was having. But what's interesting is this: Jesus simply took her by the hand and he helped her. How cool is that? That's awesome. But check this out. Later on in the text, it talks about the town came to the door. Crowds of people came to Jesus. And what did Jesus do? He healed. It says he healed the sick. He healed those who had various diseases. He helped those that were demon possessed, okay? That were contributing evil into the world, causing ruckus. He literally reset the hearts and the minds of people. And what's interesting is he told the demons, don't say a word. I love this. I love this about Jesus because if you were to interview him in this circumstance, you saw that he cares for people. The whole crowd came. The whole town came at the door, and Jesus blessed them. Jesus poured courage into them. Jesus helped them. That is awesome. Let's keep going. The text keeps moving forward. It says this. In verse 35, it says, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they exclaimed, everyone is looking for you. Jesus replied, let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I came. So he traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in the synagogues and driving out demons. Time out, pause. This is awesome. Here's why. Late at night, the night before, Jesus is pouring into people. The whole town was there, and Jesus is like, you have a need, let me take care of it. You're sick, let me help you. You're demon-possessed, and your life is a wreck, let me restore you. It lasted we don't know how long it was, but we assume that it went into the darkness of night. My question is this: do you think Jesus was tired? Probably. Do you think Jesus wanted to eat dinner? I don't know if he did or didn't. Do you think he probably wanted to take a nap or go to bed? Yeah. But he is a servant and he's helping people. But then the next verse says, early in the morning while it was still dark. Why did the writer mention it was still dark? What's the significance of that? He probably got up early to reset himself. So the question I have for you is this. Has there been a time in your life where you were so busy, so overwhelmed, stuff was going on everywhere, and you needed a break? Looks like Jesus needed a break also. So he takes off early in the morning to reset himself, and he wants to spend time in a solitary place by himself to pray. He needed to reset. When we are pouring into people, when we pour into needy people, people that are hurting, it can remove energy from us, and it can be exhausting. So I see Jesus not needing physical sleep. He needs something more. He wants to be with his Father. But as the story continues, it says that Simon and the other people that were there said, Jesus, everybody's looking for you. I love that. Everybody is looking for Jesus because they have a need and they know Jesus can take care of that need. Notice what he says in verse 38. This is what it reads. Let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I came. Jesus is capable of doing phenomenal things, pouring good into people. He's able to do miracles. Do you think those miracles validate what he's trying to teach? Absolutely. If I saw Jesus raise someone from the dead, I'm all ears, right? If he's capable of doing that, I will listen to everything and anything he has to say because I face death someday. And he can raise someone from... I can't understand that. All I know is if he is capable of doing those miracles, I want to hear what he has to say. And in this verse, he's saying, that is why I came. Yes, I came to help you. I came to benefit you, but I'm here to talk about something unique, and he's talking about the kingdom of God. How encouraging is that? All I know is every time I open up the Bible and I read about Jesus, my mind and my heart is rewritten. When I look at the world, all I get is filth. But when I look at Jesus, all I get is encouragement. Whenever we build our lives around Jesus and we look at Jesus for who he is, his nature, his character, we can't help but follow him, right? So here's the point. There is good news out there, and Jesus is good news. Can he help people and heal people? Absolutely. But not only that, he's offering us insight, truth, and wisdom that he wants you, me, everyone to hear. So this is what I want to leave you with. This is what I want you to be thinking about. Start your journey and check out Jesus. Hope you're encouraged. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to connecting with you soon.